Good day, morning, whatever it is. Hello, everyone. Hi, Lauren. Good morning, beautiful people. I love that. Cindy and George, did you hear about the online origami store? It folded. That's a good one, George. Nice and clean, the way that I like it. Stevie, good morning. Saturday yoga friends. I love this. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, Saturday yoga friends. Michael, good morning to you and to everyone, of course. The word many. I don't know. I'm trying to think about that. What does that mean, George? You know what's really interesting? The more that I speak like this, where it's recorded and out there, the more cautious I am about the way I speak. And I think it would happen this way for all of us. I don't think we give thought to what we do. But if you're going to be recorded and you're going to have to look back at that or put yourself out there and make sure that what you're saying is buttoned up. So the other day I was teaching whoosh. And I said, whoosh, like WHOOSH. I'm like, wait a minute, is it whoosh or whoosh? So I looked it up, and it's both. It's a noun and a verb. The same thing with other words. So anyway, that's why I'm looking when you say that, George, the word many. And I'm like, what does that mean? Joanne, good morning. All right. So I know I came on, I think 1 minute early, which is unusual for me because I have to get all this stuff ready. You guys see this, right? But there's other lights and things that have to happen and phones that need to be unplugged. And usually I clear the space of animals, but there is a cat in here with me. I did not realize it, and she's found a new spot to hide in. So we'll see if she shows up. She's very cautious. Her name is Whiskey, WHISKI. Because I love whiskey. And all right, Claudia, good morning. Nice to have you here. Dina, great. Glad you're here as well. Awesome. Okay, so let me go back here. All right. So today's practice is going to be based on a few things. The term for this class is stress management or stress reduction, because stress is behind everything. Because what it really means is the word stress is when the demand is greater than what can be given. So whatever that is, whether it's stress in your immune system, stress in your mind, stress in your body, we use stress when we strengthen our muscles and strengthen our bones because we ask for more, and that responds by adding more bone tissue or more muscle tissue. So good stress, bad stress. So what I would like to say is that I feel free. There's a lot of ways to go with that. So there's three items that are going to be a part of what today's class is about, and this is what they are. One is, I read an article about the astronauts that went up in SpaceX and how quickly they lost muscle and bone tissue because there wasn't the appropriate gravitational stress on their body on a daily basis. And they lose a very high number, a very high percentage of their body muscle mass and bone tissue mass. And they work out all the time, so still it's hard, and then they have to work back for years sometimes to get back what they had. It said that when they come out of space for being there for 3 months, that even the first 3 weeks they can't drive a car. When they first walking is unstable because the balance aspects of our inner ears and our eyes and the muscles along our spine and our legs haven't been used or stressed appropriately. So that was one article. The other article was the natural process, they call it pure aging in the scientific world, of the aging process in the body. And here's what happens at age 70. And it talked about the different aspects of what happens to the heart, to the immune system, to the muscles, to the bones. And so that is something that contributes to today. And then the last part is this, Oh, so the aging with 70 or that age 70, the pure aging, is it talked about tightness of the ligaments in the joints. It talked about the muscle and the bone tissue degenerating, or we're losing it. So I thought about the muscles, the bones, the ligaments. So the range of motion, the joints was one thing. It spoke about the flattening of the vertebral discs. So the jelly donuts that are in between each spine bone get flatter. So that jelly won't be so cushiony and you can lose 1 to 2 inches. I'm also going to say that it's part of the postural positioning that comes into the body that contributes to height loss as we age. And the final contributing factor for today's class is this. When COVID first happened a year ago, I created a video about visualizing our lungs as an upside down tree, because the place of gas exchange, where oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange, is in the alveoli, which looks like clusters of leaves on a tree. And so I created this video, and I just got a message from someone in India last night, and he said, please help me. I feel like I can't breathe. My lungs are so tight. It's been 8 days. And this is a person who's struggling with COVID. So I responded to him today, and I thought, I'm going to teach that breathing technique that I believe to be so beneficial for when we have lung stress, whether that's pneumonia, the flu, COVID, and actually even the pressures of life when we're in our minds and we feel that tightening and restricted breath. So today's class is going to be in response to my friend in India, who I've never met. I'm going to actually send him a copy of this so he can actually practice this. And for us to have this tool to help us keep our breath moving and flowing, because that's going to help manage stress in the body, stress in the immune system, stress in the mind. Okay, so what you're going to need for today's practice is this. You're going to need a chair if you'd like to sit. I'm not going to use a chair, but for those that prefer to be seated, you're going to use a chair. We're not going to begin on our backs today. We're going to begin in a seated position, unless, of course, you choose to be on your back. So I want it to be a free-for-all. So a chair if you'd like to begin seated. We're going to begin seated. So for some of you, your knees don't like to bend, so you're going to need the chair. I'm not going to use it, though. The other props you're going to need for later is the strap and the block. So we're going to keep those nearby so that we can use them later. And then the other props for seated would be a blanket that you could fold up into, a bolster, or I have a little cushion, so it could be a pillow from your sofa or chair or whatever. And you're going to come into a seated position. The ideal would be this. It's called hero's pose. It would be to sit on your heels. That would be ideal. And a nice way to get a little support is to have something underneath your seat. And it could be blankets, it could be pillows. I'm turning to the back so that you'll see it like that, okay? So whatever it is, if you can still bend your joints, bend them. And if you could still let your feet be open, let them be open. And I know not all of you can. Those that can't, don't worry about it. But those that can, try to do that. Those that can't, the other options are to sit in a crisscross leg position, elevated. So I'm up on a bolster. I could have been on this. I brought this out to sit on this, or this, or this. So whatever it is you're going to do, I'd like you to be in a seated position because I want the full range of motion in your lungs. And the lungs move in 6 different directions: forward, backward, sideways, and up and down. And I want that free range of motion. So wherever you are, whatever you've chosen to do, come into that. I'm actually going to sit on my bolster. So I'm putting my bolster where my tailbone is. I'm going to let that be what helps to support. And the other thing is you can take the flesh of the calves and move the flesh of the calves off to the side, and that sometimes makes for a better seat. So we're going to do lobular breathing into all the sections of the lungs. You have a right lung and a left lung. You have the bottom, the middle, and the top. And we're going to oxygenate every part of our lung. It's called lobular breathing. And I'm going to guide you through the hand position. Vibhagra Pranayama, or Mahat Pranayama, I believe, is the full when we do it all, or that's when we do the hand positions. What we're going to do today is this. We're going to take our palms and you're going to place your palms in different locations and you're going to direct your mental energy to your palms. So we're going to be very focused with our brain feeling the body moving into the palms. This is going to help to direct the mental energy, to help manage the stress that's in the mind, to help fully oxygenate the lungs, which is going to bring in more oxygen to each cell. It's going to support circulation, support the immune system. Okay, so here's the hand positions. And it also does a little bit as well to help with the postural muscles. So helping the stress of aging, to help to manage that, or the pressure from above, the stress of life. So I'm going to show you the hand positions after we do a little bit of warm up. I'd like to bring some fluids into the upper body here. So take your hands and let's open the hands, let the shoulder blades slide towards each other, and then hug yourself. So make this as meditative as you need it to be. If you want to close your eyes, you want to feel your body moving through this, stay very connected to your body and inhale, feel your chest stretch open, feel the shoulder blades help to press the chest up even more. Exhale, arms go across the body. Inhale, let your throat open. So the eyes could be closed or open. And then let's bend the elbows. Come a little higher if you can. Let the hands go back a little more, a little deeper stretch in the chest. Let the hands come together. Inhale. Go slow and feel as much tissue stretching as you can. So for that boosted immune system, for more energy production in the body, which are two major concerns that many of us have, is energy and immune health, we need to have all the muscles and all the tissues that help support the function of respiration be nice and limber. One more, inhale to open, and then go ahead and close. Let's do a little bit side to side movement. Inhale your arm up and over. And it's whatever you can do, you do. So if you have shoulder issues, bend your elbow. Or don't use the elbow at all. Just bend your spine side to side. Go slow. Notice what you notice. Hear what you hear. Joints moving, crunchy tissue crunching, clearing the cobwebs in the body. And then bring yourself back to center. I want you to look over one shoulder, inhale, and then exhale back to center. Look over the other shoulder as far as you can. And if you'd like to take your hands on your thighs, you'll feel a pretty big stretch deep down here in the abdominal area, muscles of rotation. So the eyes could be open or the eyes could be closed. And then bring yourself back to center. We're going to do a little flexion and extension. So let's slide your hands back. Keep your throat open. Let your shoulder blades slide towards the spine. Put a nice deep back bend in your spine. Lift the crown of the head up and push the tailbone into your seat. Inhale. And then exhale into flexion. Let the belly button go back towards the low back. Push the low back the most. Low back goes the farthest back when you come into your flexion. Inhale and exhale. If you have osteoporosis, make sure you do not flex the upper spine, only lower spine, or come to a neutral position during the flexion if you have osteoporosis. And then bring yourself back to center. Okay, the hand positions for the breath that we're going to do, the full lobular breathing. Palms are open. These are your lower ribs. You're going to take your hands on your lower ribs. And palms are open so you feel the flesh of your body against your palms. That's going to be the first position. Then you're going to slide your hands to the side. So you may start to notice a little tightness here in the postural muscles. This is the side waist. Put your hands there, so let it touch. Then you're going to come to the back. Right at the lower lungs, you're going to take your hands to the back. So that's the That's the bottom lungs. It's going to be front, sides, back. When you come to the middle, you're going to take your hands on your chest near your heart. That's your inhale there. And exhale. And then you're going to go to the side, right where the heart is. And then you're going to come to the back, a little more challenging to get here, stretching some of those muscles of posture again and of the shoulder joint. If that's too challenging for you, you could bring your hands along the side down here. And the awareness goes to whatever area. So that would be the back of the middle ribs is where you would think there. For the top part of this breath, come to your clavicle bones and place your palms on your clavicle bones. So you feel your palms, you're going to breathe into your palms when you come here. When we come to the side of the upper lungs, we don't want to put compressive force underneath the armpit because there's a lot of body functionality there. There's lymphatic fluids, lymphatic nodes, circulatory system is there, and also the nervous system. So we don't want to put pressure here. We're going to come down to the side waist, but your mind is going to go to here. So you're going to think you're breathing in right underneath your armpits when we do the side. The last one is you take your hands, you bring your arms up, bend your elbows, and put your fingertips to your upper back or your upper lungs. And the arms are alongside your body or alongside your ears, okay? And again, if you can't do any of these, taking your hands, putting your hands by the side of your waist and thinking about the area you're directing, okay? So it's lower, middle, upper, front, side, back. That's going to be the direction. Don't worry about it. I'm going to talk you through it. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to follow along. And guess what? If you get mixed up or tripped up, it's all good. You're breathing. So let your mind go where your hands are. And let's see what happens, right? Filling our lungs up for oxygen, for immune health, for stress management. Stay here in this moment. Go ahead, let's prepare. Sit as tall as you can. If you need to shake your legs out and move your body, you could take your legs and shake them if you needed to shake them or anything. So preparing yourself to do there will be 27 rounds, right? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So you're gonna do 27 breaths. Really powerful. It's one of my favorite breaths. And this is one of the ways that I calm my mind. If I wake up in the middle of the night or something, or I need to calm my mind, I bring myself to this breath. So I really, really love this and I want to share it with you. So bring your hands onto your lower ribs. Let your shoulders be relaxed. Let the palms be flat and let the thumbs touch the pointer fingers. So don't have your hands spread. You want them to be together and you want to feel the body moving towards the palms. So sit as tall as you can, nice long spine. Begin to breathe down to your hands that are on your lower ribs and feel that. Feel that movement. So your goal is to try to breathe to where your hands are and do your best and leave the rest. Let's prepare. Take a big exhale. Let's begin. Inhale, lower ribs, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slide your hands to the side where the lower ribs are. Palms are flat. Let's prepare. Exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take your hands, slide them to the lower ribs in the back of the body, or bring them on the side or on the thighs if you need to do that. Let's prepare. Exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring your hands right by your heart in the center of your chest. Palms are flat. Relax your body. Let's exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take your hands, slide your hands on the side of your body right by your heart, or bring them down on the side of the body or the thighs if this is too intense. Relax your body. Exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slide your hands to the middle of the back behind the heart. Palms are flat on the back, or you can use the backs of the hands if the palms is a little challenging, or on your thighs. Let's prepare. Relax your body. Exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring the hands to the clavicle bones, up on the upper chest area. Direct the breath to your palms, to your clavicle bones. Exhale to relax. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take your hands, bring your hands onto the side of the waist, right where the legs attach to the body, pretty low here. Your awareness is right to the side of the rib cage in the upper chest, right underneath the armpits. On the exhale, relax. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take the hands, bending the elbows, let the elbows go alongside the head. Hands are touching the head. Place the fingertips on the upper back where the upper part of the lungs, breathing towards this area. Relax everything as you exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands down onto your thighs. Palms are touching your thighs. Keep your mouth closed, breathing in through your nose. We're going to take our breath through all 3 lobes of the lungs, filling from the bottom to the top and emptying from the bottom to the top. I'll guide you through a couple of breaths and then leave you on your own, thinking about all the different parts, the front, the sides, and the back of each section. Let's prepare. Take an exhale. Inhale, bottom ribs, middle ribs, top. Exhale, bottom, middle, top. Inhale, bottom, middle, top. Exhale, bottom, middle, top. Inhale, bottom, middle, top. Exhale, bottom, middle, top. Inhale, bottom, middle, top. Exhale, bottom, middle, top. Completely focus on your breath. You follow your breath to the lower lobes, the middle lobes, and the upper lobes. Feel your lungs expand. Feel each section move as you direct your awareness there when you are breathing in and when you're breathing out. Finishing up your last breath. Keep your eyes closed. Give your breath back to your body. Noticing what you notice. Noticing if there's a relaxed sensation you're feeling, or if your body's communicating with you now for sitting in this position. Whatever it is, be very observant of what you're noticing. Take one more breath. Bring your hands together, rubbing your hands together. You're going to cover your eyes. Whether your heels of the hands touch your cheekbones or you cover your eyes, whatever you're going to do, gently blinking the eyes open. And then go ahead and put your hands down. So let's bring some blood flow back into the lower extremities. Come onto your blanket for your knees. For those of you with knee issues, make the blanket really nice and big. And wrist issues, walk your hand forward so you have less bend in your wrist. And if you're okay to put your hands under your shoulders, do that. Take one foot back, flip the toes under, Do a little bouncing action here as we stretch the calf muscle, and then go ahead and do the same thing with the other side. So if you had your knees bent, this is unkinking the hoses, unkinking the tubes of the fluids that flow through your body. Make sure when you put your foot back that your pinky toe also bends. So try to really get as much range of motion in the feet when you do this. Then bring your leg, shake your leg. So I definitely feel a little tingling in my feet sitting in that position for as long as we did. I felt that restriction of the blood flow, and now those fluids get to come back and nourish the tissues of the lower extremities. Shaking your legs. Then I'd like to do a little, let's come up here for a second, come off your wrists. We're gonna do some flow today, matching our breath with movement. The practice of yoga is to be in the moment. When we did the breath with all the 3 different directions of the hands, to really focus and direct your mental attention to wherever it was. Now we're going to try to do a breath and the movement and stay in your body to feel and experience what you're experiencing. Noticing the functionality of the way your body moves, noticing where it's tight, where it's sticky, and being okay with whatever it is that your body will let you do. That's really important. Any function you have is good. I don't want you to get caught up in thinking it should be more than it needs to be. So I would like it if you had a bolster for this, or pillows from your bed, pillows from the sofa, something so you have a little padding to help with the body so that we manage the range of motion we put in our joints. And this will come in handy to notice what you notice, but also for those that maybe have issues in your tissues, it'll be more doable for you. Because for me, it's about what can you do and not what can't you do. We all have our limitations, so don't do the can'ts, but do the cans. So whatever you do is perfect. And that's what I want you to get to that place. Don't say, I'm not going to try that because I can't. Say, okay, let me see what I can do in that movement pattern. All right, because each posture has an intention for stretching and opening and unclogging and clearing. And we want that. We want to be unclogged and clear and flowing. Take your knees pretty wide on the blanket. Have a bolster or pillows or something in front of you, and it could be a block. And then let your arms go straight. Let the forehead rest on the bolster or whatever it is. Keep your tushy away from your heels. See, your spine is really long. Stretch your spine. Push the forehead into whatever it's in, and let all 26 bones in your spine stretch so that you feel some stretch in between each one. And then I want you to inhale, come forward, keep your arms straight, load up your arms, come into an up dog or a back bend shape, feel the stretch wherever it is. Do whatever you can. Inhale, exhale, push your belly button back. Come back into your puppy dog. Puppy dog, inhale forward to up dog. Exhale, puppy dog. Inhale to up dog. Spread your fingers, keep your arms straight, rolling through your hip joint. Hip flexor muscles, shoulders, rolling in your balls, as in the top of your leg bone and the top of the arm bone, the shoulder joint and the hip joint. And then bring yourself all the way up. Okay, so that was one flow, that was with breath. We're gonna do another version now where we're gonna actually add a little pressure into our muscles. So come so that you're upright, where your elbows, wrists and shoulders are stacked. And of course, if your body doesn't like that, you can have your hands forward a little bit more. All right. Exhale to push back. Inhale to come forward. Exhale, bend your elbows and keep them right alongside your body. Don't let them go out to the side. Lower down. Inhale, open your throat, open your chest, come back through that up dog. Exhale, back into puppy.
Inhale, now we're bending joints. We're using more muscles. To bend joints, you have to have muscles contract and other muscles need to lengthen. Contract, lengthen, flex, roll around in the sockets. Inhale forward, exhale to lower. Inhale, throat opens. Exhale back. Only do what you can. This is about canning, not about canting. None of the can'ts. Bring all the cans to this practice. Even if it's a ½ inch of a movement, you can do that. One more, come forward, lower down. Stay here. Breathe to your belly. Spread your fingers. Bring your elbows closer to your body. Let your toenails touch the floor. Begin by opening your throat, lifting your head up. Go slow, slow, slow. And then bring yourself all the way up. All right, I have a joke for you. This is the joke class, right? So I said, I want you to do all the cans and not the can'ts. So this is the class where we're doing the can. And George, I'm sure you would be laughing. But you got to admit it, George, that's pretty good. That's you rubbing off on me. I'm becoming a jokester. This is the can class. All right, so only the cans are today. Let's take that off the mat. You can still be here for the support with your legs. Let's take one foot to the side. And the important thing here is that that foot is pointing straight ahead. It's not out to the side. It's not collapsing like a flat arch. It is pointing forward. It's perpendicular to the body so that the leg bone is going into it and the foot is that way. It's perpendicular. It's pretty much the way we would be walking, except for now we're extremely stretching our ankle joint. Very important for balance, for alignment, beginning in the feet, up to the ankle, to the knee, to the hip, to the pelvis, to the low back, to the head. So the whole entire kinetic chain begins there. And I want you to do a little rocking action here. So let's take the stress out of the feet and out of the lower limbs. See if you could feel that there's a stretch on that ankle joint. And then try to grow right out of your body. So notice if you're leaning to the side. And then right here where that leg attaches to the body, can you take your hand, let's take our hand like this, and press in so that you get a little bit more, there's more of a bend that takes place here, more flexion. Muscles are lengthening, muscles are contracting to get that to happen. This is a ball. Mine happens to be made out of ceramic and plastic and titanium. But yours is made out of bone and muscle. Not all of you, but most of you. This is my hip replacement. Okay, so you put your hand here and you get that flexion. This is stretching some of those lateral chain muscles, which are really important for health, for taking stress out of what happens above if down below is tight or weak. Take your hand on your thigh. The other hand goes down alongside your body. Turn your fingers. The thumb is back like you're hitchhiking for a ride. So you bring in that external rotation to that shoulder joint, bringing the shoulder blade onto the spine. This will help posturally align the upper body so that then you lift the hand, lift it up. If you have shoulder joint issues, this may be you or this may be you, okay? Inhale, and then laterally flex over, down. So these fingers are going towards that ankle and really push the pinky toe edge into the floor. Reach, reach, reach. Push that knee down into the floor and reach that hand up. Stretch the heck out of that side of your body. Breathe deep. Breathe to the lower lobes of the lungs, the front, the side, and the back. One more. And then bring yourself down or out or whatever it is you'd like to call it. Let's go to the other side. Bring that foot out. So it may take a little while when you first come into something for it to actually enter your body, depending on how much tightness you have, depending on a lot of factors. And this is the can practice. So I won't make you get up and start kicking the legs, right? Is that the can? You have your arms and you're kicking the legs up or something, right? We're gonna can in our minds. Toes are forward, arches are off the floor, pinky toe edge is in the floor. Really feel that stretch over the ankle joint. Very important. For balance, I was walking on the trails the other day and there was a root and my toes got caught in it and I almost fell and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I thought, wow, I wonder if I have so much play in my body that I'm able to catch myself. Okay, that's what I'm telling myself anyway. And that's why I keep practicing. So now I would like you to take your hands right here. Let's see if we can coax a little bit more into that. So you're pushing your pelvis over to the side because the pelvis is going to grip and say, oh, what are you doing? And you're going to say, oh, it's okay. Exhale, 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 release, release, release. So you get that flexion in the hip. And this is a pretty wide stance, which a lot of people don't come into as balance becomes more precarious and it's just not a normal pattern that a lot of people find themselves in. So bringing in this stretch of the adductor muscles and getting these lateral chain muscles to be okay with this flexion feeling here. So a little more play being introduced to your hip joint as well, which is really great for fall prevention or let's say injury prevention if you slip, trip, or fall. Okay, let's take that hand down the thigh, the opposite hand like hitchhiking. So you really want that external rotation. It helps to open up that upper chest, safely bending the spine, which is good for all of our jelly donuts, taking some stress out of our spine. Palm faces away from you. And then you're going to inhale. If your arm can stay straight, great. If your shoulder doesn't like that, bend the elbow. And if you don't use the arm, that's okay too. And then you're going to laterally flex. Hand comes down closer to the ankle joint. Keep your arm alongside your ear. Don't let it go forward. Don't collapse the upper part of your body. Keep the integrity and the stacking quality of the vertebra. Smile. Take one more breath. And then you're going to bring yourself up. Definitely more challenging when we do weighted stretching. So when we use body weight in this position, it's more challenging. So let's come into a lunge position. So we're going to do a lunge position. I am going to come this way to do this. Okay. So let's bring the right leg forward. Bring your right leg forward. And you might need your block here because it'll be very supportive for you to have a block. This is good for those of you that struggle with lower back issues. We're going to create some space in our low back and we're going to bring in some rotation. So really stretching the spine and the muscles that rotate the trunk, that support the trunk, that stabilize the trunk, that help us bend and actually perform a lot of our natural daily duties. Okay, take your block and take your hand on your thigh and then keep your spine nice and long as you come forward. So that back leg is straight at the hip joint. My hip joint goes straight. So this is hip joint movement. You can come back a little bit if you'd like, and then come forward. What you want to make sure is that when you come forward, your knee and your ankle are on top of each other. You do not want your foot closer to your body like this, where the knee is here and the ankle is here, because that's going to do a lot of not good stuff to that knee joint. So now let's come all the way forward. Stay here. If you could bring your hands onto your block, keeping your head up so that your back stays nice and straight. If I put a golf ball on the top of your head, I want it to roll straight down your spine, straight down your tailbone, and fall on the floor right between your legs. So no bump, no hump, no camels, no camelbacks. So you're going to come forward. Maybe you could come onto the block like that, or maybe you could come onto the block a little bit flatter. Maybe you could put both hands on the floor, still keeping your back flat. If you need to walk the leg over to the right, because it's the right leg that's forward, you could do that. Keep your head up. No matter how intense it is, don't let your head look down towards that back knee, because that's going to round the upper spine. We want to keep that nice length in our spine here. Take one more breath. This is called lizard pose. It looks like a lizard, right? And then let's come back. Let's put one hand on top of the block, the other hand on top of the thigh, and then you're going to lengthen your spine and rotate over that right knee. So this could be you where one hand's on the block, one hand's here, or you could go deeper by bringing the left elbow on the outside of the right leg, taking the palms together, squeezing the palms together and lengthening your spine. And then if you want to go a little farther, you flip the left toes under and lift the left knee off the floor. Maybe, maybe not. This is the can practice. Whatever you can do, you do. Whatever you can't do is not a part of your practice. Be okay with whatever it is. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and lower down. Let's come for a second. Either sitting so you take the pressure off your kneecaps, or sit on your tushy to take the pressure off your kneecaps for a second. One thing I was reading in the article of the astronauts that go up to space for 3 months, they lose postural muscles and they lose hip flexor muscles. So we are not going to lose those. That's what we're doing today. Sit on your tushy, take your hands pretty wide, move your body side to side, take tension out of wherever tension came. That tension that you're feeling is stress as our friend. We create stress in the practice so we can then manage it and release it, learning how to release stress. Let's come to the other side. So now it's the left leg that's forward, the right leg is back. We're going to do a little bit coaxing some flexibility into the joints, the hip joint. So you have your hand on the block, keeping your spine nice and long is the goal here. Moving back and forth, making sure that your spine does not represent a camel. And then coming forward, we're going to come into the lizard posture. And this may be where you stand. Maybe this is where you're able to keep your spine in the nice longest position. Or maybe you're able to bring both hands either on top of the block with the spine nice and straight, or the block goes a little flatter, or you're all the way on the floor. Whatever your practice is, you may need to take the left leg a little bit over to the left more. You might feel the adductors, the inner thigh of that left leg. You may feel the hip flexors of the right thigh because it's back, stretching the hip joint of the right. Let the weight of the pelvis move towards the floor and deeply stretch the muscles of the pelvis. Head is up. We're going to add a little rotation. So for you, that may be hand on the block, hand on the thigh, nice long spine, and rotating your body, your heart, over the direction of the left leg. That may be where you stay. Or you may put the right elbow on the outside of the left leg and bring your hands together to get that force, to get more rotation. And or you may also lift the right knee off the floor. Maybe, maybe not. Deep breaths. One more breath. And then go ahead. Bring yourself down. Let's take the blanket, fold the blanket. Come to sit on the blanket. Let your legs go straight so you can arrange your pelvis here. So once you get onto the blanket, take a hunk of flesh and move it back. And then take a hunk of flesh and move it back. Take your knees. Let's give the knees a little love. We were on them for a decent amount of time today so far. So go to the inner knee, all the way on the inside of your leg. This is where the inner thigh muscles attach. And sometimes if they're tight, they pull on the knee joint. They can have an effect on what happens to our knees. And then I'd like you to go right underneath your kneecaps.
This is where the quadriceps attach to the lower leg bones. These are tendons. So bring some blood flow there. When we do massage or pressure, you bring fluids to that area. So healing blood flow. Let's go to the side. And a lot of people have some issues here. If you want to take your knuckles and let your knuckles do a little bit to soften up that tissue, circular pattern or up and down, whatever. And then go right on top of your kneecaps, right at those big leg muscles, the quadriceps. And then nice gentle circles, healing circles around your knees in one direction and then in the other. Great. Let's take our legs really wide. It always feels like such a loving act to do that to yourself, isn't it? Isn't that like a really loving act to take care of yourself that way, to have a circular, beautiful, loving pattern around your knees? Like it just feels such an act of self-love to me. Legs are really, really wide here. And notice what you notice. If you need to put a bend in the knees because it's too intense, do that. Keep your spine as long as you can. Let's practice that lobular breathing. So you got your lower ribs, your middle ribs, and your upper, or your lower lobes, middle lobes, upper lobes. So, and then you've got front, side, and back. So right now, close your eyes. Do a breath down to all three areas of the lower lobes. With your mind, take your mind there. And now bring your awareness to the middle of your chest by your heart. Breathe to the front, to the sides, and to the back. See if you could feel your lungs moving in this direction. Now bring your awareness to the upper lobes of the lungs, the upper part of your rib cage by the clavicle bones, underneath the armpits and the very top of the upper back. Take a breath there, directing the breath to front, sides, and back. And then go ahead and open up your eyes. Doesn't always need to be hard. Actually, some of the most valuable healing parts of the practice of yoga is that breath work and that focused, directed mind, because that's when we allow this inner healing body that there exists. We allow this to be at its maximum healing potential. Okay, take your legs straight. Let's point the toes. If you're having a hard time holding yourself up here, this is actually posturally correcting. If you're having a challenge, take your hands on the floor behind you, but not to lean into it, only to become like a kickstand that helps to support you holding your body up. And keep your head on top of your body. You're going to inhale, pointing your feet, exhale to flex. I want you to feel the top of the feet stretch, the calf stretch. Top of the feet, inhale, calves. And then you're going to inhale, try to get the pinky toes to touch the floor. Exhale, get the big toes to come towards each other and down towards the floor. Inhale, exhale. If you want to put your hands on your thighs, that might also be supportive. Elbows are bent, elbows are right underneath the shoulders. Keep your head up. This is more hip joint movement. This is always fascinating to me. If you'd like, take your fingers, put your fingers right here, like dig it in right here, and feel that hip joint move. A ball in a socket. Pretty amazing. Okay, lean back and bend your knees for a second. Let's let them go side to side. Let's do a twist here, kind of wring ourselves out in the seated position. Twists can have a really great quality for strengthening the vertebra, so really helping to support posture and strengthen our bones of our spine. So I'd like you to get a block, bring the block behind you, take your right leg straight and bend your left leg. And then remember, you're sitting at the front edge of your blanket. If you need to reach down and grab the flesh so that you expose the base of your pelvis. You feel those sits bones. It helps you sit up upright. So you're gonna let your right leg be straight, your right foot is active, you're holding onto your left leg. Do whatever you can, remember, whatever you can do is perfect. Push your foot into the floor, hold on, so clasp your hands and get yourself as tall as you can be here. Your block is right behind you. Let's take the right hand on the left leg, grow right out of your pelvis with your spine, take your left hand on the block behind you, and then push down to get as tall as you can. Push your feet into the floor, both of them, the left foot, the right heel. Inhale. As you exhale, the lower ribs, the mid ribs, and the upper ribs rotate. Lower your shoulders from your ears. Deep breaths down to your belly. If you want to walk your hands back more over towards the right to get even more force, feel what's appropriate. Lower ribs are rotating, middle ribs and upper ribs. Push your heart forward. Lower your shoulders. Take one more breath. And then go ahead, let's unwind from that. Keep the block back there. Straighten the left leg, bend the right. Take your hands on the right leg and really lengthen yourself here. Push both feet into the floor, the left and the right. Take the right hand on the block behind you. Push down to get tall here. And when you do push down and you get tall, grow right out of your pelvis. Let your shoulders move away from your ears so you have really nice long neck. Inhale. As you exhale, lower ribs, middle ribs, and upper ribs rotate to the right. Active feet, growing out of your pelvis, lower your shoulders, press your heart forward. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and unwind yourself from that. Ah, lovely, lovely, lovely. Hopefully you feel pretty good. Let's take our blanket up to the top of the mat. We have a block. I'm not going to use the strap today, so let's put the strap to the side. Let's come into a Navasana. So let's do a little core because the core is really important for balance, for maintaining strength in our body as we age, and really just to give us that real power to be able to handle whatever we have happen to us in our lives. So you're sitting on top of your sits bones. You're going to walk your feet back. You're going to take your hands on the side of your body. Keep your spine as nice and long and tall as you can. Walk your feet back with that nice long spine, and then bring one foot off the floor at a time. Try to get your feet to be parallel to the floor. You could let your feet be pretty soft here. And then in the midsection of the body, imagine you have a huge juicy navel orange and you want to squeeze all the juice out of it. So lift the top up, the bottom down, and the sides in to squeeze your orange. If you want more challenge, take your hands off. Lead with your heart. So let your heart really lead. Keep your back nice and long. Toes are pointing forward. Keep your knees and feet the same level. So don't let the feet go out wider. Really squeeze the heck out of your orange. Lift a little higher when you do that. Deep breaths. Whatever you can do, you do. And the rest you leave. If you need to still hold on. Take one more breath. And then slowly bring yourself down. That's really lovely for strengthening what holds you up and helps you deal and manage with this life and the stresses of this life. Strengthening our hip flexor muscles, our core. And if we were to go to space, let's say that it was really easy and we all decided tomorrow to take a 3-month space vacation.
This is what's going to help to preserve our bones and our muscles so that we go into our space vacation strong. All right, let's come all the way down onto the ground. Bring yourself down. Oh, it feels so good to come down onto the ground. Let your head be supported by the blanket. Let the fluids come back into the joints that were just squished out. Let's bring one leg up at a time towards the sky and the arms. Let them jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Settle, settle, settle. And then let one foot go down onto the ground. Hold the other one, the other leg. Inhale to unbend. Go slow here so that you actually feel all the stretching that can take place in your leg. I want you to flex your foot. When you come towards a straight leg, I want the center of your heel to be pointing straight up towards the sky in whatever range of motion you can do. Stretching the quadriceps, stretching the calves, the hamstrings. And when you do come into knee flexion, there may be a stretch here in the quads depending on what's going on in your body. Go slow. If you hear crunching, as long as it doesn't hurt, that's like the Rice Krispie treat, guys. Snap, crackle, and pop. Maybe it's all the Rice Krispies we ate. Let's come all the way up to as straight as you can. And remember, it is whatever you can do. It doesn't matter if you have a bend in your knee or you're straight. Let's inhale, just point the foot, feel that stretch on the top of the foot, and then flex. Point and flex. I'd like you to feel a stretch on the front of the foot when you point, in the calf when you flex, and maybe even all the way down here when you flex. So make it be really strong. If you want a little bit more work, you could take your hands down, let the leg hold itself up there. So you get a little bit more core work, pointing and flexing, and then slow articulation of the foot in one direction. Go slow. Notice my speed and see what your speed is. Let's go in the other direction. Let's do a little hip flexor strengthening. So the opposite leg is bent. You're going to inhale and then exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale. This may look easy. It's actually pretty challenging. And it's actually really great to have a lot of strength in your hip flexor muscles to support your hip and pelvic placement, which will support your knees, your ankles, your feet, and your back and your head and everything else. Now, if you need your knee to be bent, go ahead and bend your knee. And then bring yourself to the halfway mark. Feel those quadriceps talking to you. They're saying, yep, I'm here. I'll help you. Don't worry. I'll protect you. Push your belly button to your spine. Try to push your low back into the floor. And then let that go. Let's bring the other knee in. Inhaling and exhaling to bend. Flex the foot. Come all the way up to straight. Point and flex. Keep your breath here. Inhale and then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then here is a good opportunity to look at your feet and notice what you notice. Do they need a little more care from you? Or do they look like they're doing pretty good? And do you ever think about them? and all they do for you? Or do you only think about the issues that exist in them? If you want to take your hand off and let go, and then we're gonna go those slow circles. So one of the things I notice, I know this is gonna be weird, but I notice my feet are toned from all my yoga and all my stuff I do all day long to lift up onto my high heels, to bounce on my toe pads, all the stuff that I'm doing all day long to keep myself healthy. My feet look really nice and toned. Go the other direction, because I really do focus on taking care of my feet, because I know that I need them to take care of me for at least 40 more years for me. I'm in my mid-50s. So I'm going to say 40 more years at least. It's a lot of years I'm going to be walking around on these things. Let's take the hands down alongside the body. Let's take an exhale and lower. Go slow. Inhale. Slower is harder. Fast is easy and no awareness. Slow is, oh my gosh, muscles and soft tissue. You need to work hard. Exhale to lower. Inhale to rise. Exhale. And inhale. And then come halfway. Stay there. Push your belly button to your spine. Try to flatten your lower back into the floor. And then go ahead and bend. Bring your legs onto the ground. Let's end our practice today with a twist and wring out any tension that was created. So you may need a block for this or not. We'll see. So push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis off the floor, and move your pelvis over to the right. So the rib cage stayed on the ground. You just lifted your pelvis away from the floor and you pushed it over to the right. Then you bring one knee at a time in. Let's take the block in case you need it. Arms are out to the side, palms are up. Let your rib cage stay on the floor. As you bring your legs over to the side, at some point, if there's a lot of tension, you may need to put a block underneath your legs or in between your legs to keep the rib cage on the floor. Whatever you need to do, do it. Legs are to the left. Let's take the right hand and leave that on the floor and take the left hand to hold on to that right leg. Deep breaths here. Let go. Really let your exhales release. And then close your eyes, feel that top right leg. Push the right leg away from you. Not with your hand, with your internal muscles. Feel that top right leg bone is pushing away from you. Create space in your right waist. Legs are to the left. Take one more breath. Bring the top knee in, and then push your feet into the floor. Lift your pelvis up. Come back to neutral. Push your feet into the floor. Lift your pelvis up. Now move it over to the left. Bring one knee at a time. Block if you need it. Allow your knees to go over to the opposite side. Take the right hand on top of the left leg. Leave the left hand on the floor. Breathe deeply. Take your awareness with your eyes closed to that top leg. If the legs are over to the right, it's the left leg we're going to think about, pushing the top left leg away to create more space in the left waist. Take one more breath. You're gonna bring yourself back up to that neutral position. Push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up, and draw your knees into your chest. Rocking side to side. So it's time for the integration, to allow our mind to go to a place of peace and to let everything that was done in the practice today, the releasing, the movements, the mental challenges of coming up against what you can or can't do, or where you may have pain or discomfort, or maybe there was a release of some sort. We're going to allow the integration and the expansion and the wisdom and the knowing and the learning that just took place over this last hour plus. And we're going to let that sink into every cell in our bodies as we come into our Shavasana, pose of peace. You're going to come into whatever you need to do for your body, find it. If you need to get props, maybe some pillows, you could try that. Whatever you need for yourself to feel comfortable and relaxed, so you can allow a nice calm sensation to come into you. Let go, let go, let go. Bring your awareness to your breath. Notice where it goes, the depth. Bring your awareness to the bottom lobes of the lungs, the middle lobes of the lungs, and the upper lobes of the lungs. As you begin to deepen the breath from the bottom to the top on the inhale and on the exhale, bottom to top. Bring your awareness to your fingers and your toes as you wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Bending your knees, keep your eyes closed. Feel all the movement in your body as you do it. Draw the knees in one at a time, moving side to side, rolling onto your right side or left side or whatever side, and then push away from the floor to bring yourself up to a seated position. Keep your eyes closed. I'd like to dedicate today's practice to all of those who are struggling for breath and for movement in their bodies, whether that's being inflicted with something or lack of mobility, whatever it is. And we together just created a whole bunch of fluid release, intention release, and clearing in our bodies. And let's send that intention of clearing and opening to others around the world. We're going to close the practice with the sound Om, which is your sound as a human being. When you exhale with an open mouth and you begin to close your mouth on the way out, the sound goes through the vowel sounds of A, O, U, and finally when we close our mouth, it comes to a sound. We're going to take a deep exhalation. Deep breath down to the lowest lobes of the lungs. Open your mouth. Bowing to each other in Namaste, a mutual sign of recognition and respect and honoring for the energy that is in me as a human being is the exact same energy that is in you as a human being. It may look different, but that's just the outside. Namaste. So if you did miss what I said at the beginning of class today, there was an intention behind the practice today because of a message I received from someone in India that is struggling with COVID and has had it for 7 days. I actually didn't even look to see the profile to see whether it was a male or female or the age of the person. It was just that someone right now has COVID in India, and we know that India is struggling to breathe. So the beginning of the practice today with the 3-part breath was to fully oxygenate our lungs, to learn about all of the aspects of our lungs, to bring that oxygen in. And I will take a recording of this and send it to that person to help him or her. I think it was a male,
but I wasn't sure because I didn't really look. I was just more about the message and responding. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm here because you're here. I hope that you learn a lot. I hope you do what you can, and keep yourself strong and healthy, and don't give in to the forces of gravity, and use them as your friend. All right. So maybe a little deep for some of you. I was going to add a little something there that they taught us in India, that in India, when they made their exhalation, they would hear the sound Om. And in the West, that sound was heard as Amen. Or whatever, Allah, or Adonai, like just thinking of all the sounds that they call that energy of life, which some people call that word God. It's human sound that comes out. So anyway, not specific to one location. All right, wait, let's go back. Nancy, did I know you were here? No, Nancy's here, yay. And Martha, didn't know you were here either. That's great too. And you saw that your friend is here too. I love this. You girls are together in Chicago and I think in California, but really, here together. You're welcome, Nancy. Yes, I'm off for a whole week. I take the next week off. That's my gift to myself. I show up for 8 weeks and then I take off for a whole week. Not twiddling my thumbs, creating all the stuff I want to share on a expanded way after my classes, or in addition to. You're welcome, Lynn and Dave. Carolyn, great. Yes, thank you. Well, I don't know if you were here in the beginning, Carolyn, but I got this guy or whoever sent me a message, so I'm going to send something to him. You're welcome, Lauren. I love this, and it helps me. I mean, this is how I stay healthy, and this is how I stay mentally healthy and emotionally healthy and physically healthy, and that's why I share it. Yes, Dina, definitely sending love. Michael, thank you. Joanne, thinking about you, Joanne. I know that this time for you, I've been thinking about you. Claudia, you're welcome. Yes, Dina. Great class, Scott. Oh, Luca, my little nephew, he's here in my house. And I was thinking of bringing him into the class today, but I just haven't done that before. And I didn't ask his parents if they wanted him to be on a recording on YouTube, so I didn't. But I have my little nephew here. So we've been dancing. We're having like dance parties. We started our day today with a dance party. We ended our night last night with a dance party. We're cooking together, and we're going to go plant watermelons and cucumbers. And last night we planted tomatoes. All right. Martha, yes, we are all here together. I will enjoy that. All right. Anyway, yeah, on my creations. All right. Thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you feel great. Like, subscribe. I'll see you wherever I see you. And until then, breathe in all parts of your lungs, not just this part, but everywhere. All right.